Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be showing you some reasons why Sampo is evil. Now, I hope you all have completed the Pinnacle story quest so far and are up to date with everything that had happened in the story because I will be spoiling a few things. And first of all, as you know, Sampo was heavily involved in the story, but it turned out to be Sparkle cosplaying as Sampo. And the reason for me mentioning that will come up in the video later on. Now, first of all, is Sampo's story. The worst thing about his story is that for everybody else, their story is just a normal story where they talk about their past and stuff like that. Sampo is completely different. Sampo's stories are just basically reenactment or basically dialogues of every single scam that he has done in Bellabog. And I'm not sure if yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them are in Bellabog and there are some ridiculous scams. So that is kind of weird that his story is not basically about his background but about him doing scams, which means this guy is a sketchy guy. The second one is a light cone. His light cone is very suspicious too because his light cone is basically looking at him in the eyes of a sniper rifle where they paid a man to get a hit on him and he was flaunting a lot of money basically looking at a sniper directly and trying to get the sniper's attention to show that yeah I want to buy you out so you don't have to kill me. Now this means that this man is highly powerful and very battle uh, battle awareness is really high. I think he's a really cracked individual, and I believe that his method of doing that was not to show his true colors of how powerful he is, because I do believe that based on the storyline, Sampo outscaled everything that we fought in Belobog. I think he is much stronger than we're giving off right now. And that is another thing that I found very weird about him. Rating gun in Herta's space station is very weird and very specific. We don't know exactly what it's rating everybody on, but for every character in the game, I guarantee you it will give you an accurate rating at all times. The problem with this is that when you try to scan Sample, the gun does not give a rating at all. In fact, it kind of freaks out and then closes eyes as if to try to avoid Sample. Now, this is very anonymous kind of behavior from a rating gun. This means that whatever this man is capable of is just beyond comparison and it scares the living daylight out of the gun, which means that that's why I say that he likely scaled everything that we fought in Bilbao. Probably would even scale everything that we're gonna fight in Pentacon as well. I don't know. But that is just some of the tips that I have that I have noticed that make me believe that yes, Sampo is evil. And if you're ever in a discussion where people are talking about that Sampo is not evil, you can gather these notes and be able to present them as evidence in your debates. And I hope that you win them, and you definitely should win them. And we just have to sit down and wait for, in WWE terms, Sampo's heel turn when he gets his 5-star character, and I would likely be pulling for that. This is a bonus to what was already said. Now, if you have Sparkle, or if you pull for Sparkle, then you'll realize something in her voice notes. And in everybody's voice notes, they have about people that they know and people that they're frequently acquainted with. Now, the strange thing about this is that Sparkle have interactions with Sampo and the actual Sampo. Now, before I thought she didn't really know him, but this kind of changes everything, especially with what she said about him.
He's quite the entertaining one, and dependable when it comes to handling matters. The only thing with this guy is, he's got a line he won't cross. Having limitations always kills the vibe.
She said he's quite the entertaining one and dependable when it comes to handling matters. Now, to dissect this part, it means that she has worked with him before and more than one time. And not only that, is that she knows that he's dependable when it comes on to handling tasks. Now, I don't know if he worked under her or if he worked with her or what his position is. The second thing is that we just know that he works with her a lot. The only thing with this guy is he's got a line he won't cross. Having limitations always kills the vibes. Now, him having a line he won't cross could be interpreted many ways. It probably means that he's not using his full potential, or certain there's certain things that he won't do, or he doesn't want to reveal his actual true power or something like that. But based on what we know, I can tell for sure that he is definitely a very cracked individual. Now, the last thing about Sparkle and Sampo's relationship, which is very weird. If you have Sampo on the team and you add Sparkle in it, this is what Sparkle will say.
Shouldn't the fool introduce himself to everyone?
So let's go into the voice note and see what she says. She says, shouldn't the fool introduce himself to everyone? Now, there's an emphasis on fool. This means that I think we kind of figure out where his alliance is towards, and I believe he's an emanator. I believe Sampo is an emanator, and he could be an emanator for Haha, because she specifically mentioned Fool, which is the masked fools. So he is pretty much a part of the fools, and likely the emanator, because I believe this man is very powerful compared to everybody else in the game, because the way he just interrupt our fight at Belabog with Brownie and stuff like that, just stepping like nothing. The conversation he had at the end of the Belabog story, who was he talking to? So it's very weird that Sparkle knows him, and the worst part about it is that Sampo mentions nothing about Sparkle, and that is kind of weird given that Belabog was cut off from society, from the rest of the universe for a much eons of years. So maybe he was able to come out of Belabog whenever he wanted and back, because it doesn't make sense that Sparkle knows him, who he actually is, and him being alive down there in Belabog. We'll have to wait on time to see, but that's my theories. There are a few things I want to clear up post-production. I want to clear up some things that I cut out of the video initially, but they are very important to the whole meaning of Sampo being evil. Now, in the story quest, when Sparkle was about to reveal that she wasn't Sampo, the way she talked about Sampo would make you believe that she doesn't really know who Sampo is. But then again, in her story, in her voice lines, as I show you, it seems like she knows exactly who Sampo is and is very well acquainted with her. Now, my only thought in this matter is that she was trying to make sure that she portrayed Sampo as how the Trailblazer knows him. So the information she got was from a guy about how Sampo was in the Belabog. Now, I have a few guesses of who it could be. I'm guessing it could be Aventurine, because Aventurine could have heard from Topaz when she was in Belabog. Now that is my guess. Or it could be from Sam as well, but I don't know if Sam had interacted with Sparkle. So it's a whole lot of speculations. And the next thing is the dream that Sparkle showed us when she was cosplaying as Sampo. The dream that she showed us was basically Sampo being evil, and at the end of the dream, she specifically worded as she is foreshadowing something to come. Now, this will basically mean that she knows that Sampo is evil, and she's just showing you that, yeah, the day will come when Sampo is gonna turn on you. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned in the video who I believe Sampo is, but in my opinion, I believe that Sampo is the emanator for Haha, because I think he is extremely powerful, very, very powerful. And even in the end of the Bellabog quest, when he was basically talking to somebody before he just cut to us, I think he was keeping up with his crew, and his crew likely being the masked fools. Now, that is my opinion. I don't think I have anything more to say on the matter when it comes down to Sampo and his antics and who he is, but that is just all that I've gathered from now. I'm definitely certain that Sampo was traversing past Bellabog. Meanwhile, Bellabog had their COVID-19 lockdown. And the reason why I believe this is because the way Sparkle mentioned Sampo in her story, in her about Sampo, she mentioned him like it's not a one-off thing where they team up together. They have teamed up together a lot. Like, she likely knows him very well. Not the Sampo that we know that is playing the game, but the Sampo who he actually is. The day will come when everything will be revealed. Other than that, was just some bonus tips that I want to talk about. Things that I didn't really involve in the video, that I cut out, but I really have to put them back in because they're very important to the story and portraying Sampo as the evil villain that he will be in future times. So that should be all.